Hi, I'm Paul Banuski, Marketing and Communications Coordinator for the Independent Insurance Agents and Brokers of New York. This afternoon, I had an opportunity to sit down and interview Dick Poppa about the changing role of the independent agent in today's marketplace. This whole conversation started when an IIABNY member sent us a copy of an article from the October 2011 issue of Best's Review. The article focused on insurance carrier spending on advertisings, really focusing on some of the big four auto carriers. One of the questions that member had sent in accompanying the article was this: can the industry survive? Of course, Dick Poppa answered, we absolutely can. And so here's a little bit of my conversation with Dick on how the independent agency can survive, thrive, and compete.
I think there's a sense that they want someone else to do it for them. And we're only going to be able to survive and prosper if individual independent insurance agents take this on and hit it in a way similar to the way they develop their own business. If agents would put as much passion and work into taking back market share as they do in writing new business and renewing accounts, we would be fine. Let me give you a couple specifics, really. The first one really is around the amount of advertising that's done. And certainly, and you may even mention later, but I mean, we're talking with the big four auto advertisers, Geico, State Farm, Allstate, and Progressive, that in the first 5 months of this year, I think they spent well over $635 million in advertising. And we're not going to be able to compete head-on with that. But if independent insurance agents across the country, and I'm going to take a round number because I'm not great at math, but let's just say that we've got approximately 20,000 agency members countrywide. That's about 3,000 short. And let's say each one of them spent $5,000 in advertising on average. We're all of a sudden hitting $100 million of advertising using the Trusted Choice brand. Double that, we're at $200 million. At $200 million, you're starting to come into the same ballpark with some of the other carriers. Allstate, State Farm, you're starting to get close to them.
Now, if independent insurance agents and brokers collectively had an advertising budget of $100 to $200 million, while it wouldn't put them in the top tier of advertisers, it would certainly help make them more competitive. Now Dick talks a little bit more about some of the other factors that can help with competition.
So my point is that agents have to understand that there are a lot of ingredients to making this work, but it's going to be first looking at how they deal with their individual brand in their agency and how they promote that, and then how they use the Trusted Choice brand, which is an ingredient brand. I hear so often from agents that, well, our agency has a great reputation, a great name, and I sure don't want to water that down or create any problems by adding Trusted Choice to it. Well, the best example I can give you is, first of all, let's talk about what Trusted Choice is. It's an ingredient brand. It's a brand that is added to the brand of an agency to make it better. Probably the best example of that is the Intel Inside ingredient brand. I don't think anybody would argue that Dell computers or Microsoft don't have good brands on their own, and yet they have seen the value of including the Intel Inside brand when they're selling their computer equipment. And that's really what Trusted Choice is. It adds value to an individual agency's brand, and while we hope that our individual members create a unique brand for their agency, by using the ingredient brand of Trusted Choice, it allows them to parlay that then with all the other Trusted Choice ads. So while I can't call it a good housekeeping seal of approval because it's not that kind of rigor, it's that kind of thing, though, where we're hoping that independent agents will really brand their agency and then use the Trusted Choice ingredient brand.
Well, and using the Trusted Choice brand creates a level of consistency nationally. One of the findings in this article was that Liberty Mutual, they say, is winning the brand battle with a strategy that centers on running fewer separate creatives. Now, what they're talking about is that Liberty Mutual has found that idea of responsibility, what's your policy, and they're sticking with it. And that's creating a strong brand, as opposed to Geico that runs the caveman, the Rod Serling impersonator, that runs the gecko. And so what it does is it creates a strong brand that resonates with the consumer. And Dick, I think that's what we're trying to do with Trusted Choice on a national level.
Yeah, the name Trusted Choice is no accident. There was significant consumer research that went into it, and what they found is that consumers are looking for choice. They want the ability to have different options placed before them and then be able to choose what works best for them, and they want to do it with somebody they trust. And so your point is right on target, Paul, that what the Trusted Choice brand and what individual agencies need to be doing in their unique way is highlighting that independent agents can bring you choice. They can match your needs with the best policy for you. And while price is always, you know, I'd be silly if I didn't sit here and say that a lot of consumers are looking first at price, but price is something that independent agents, when they can spend time with a customer, it's amazing to me how often independent agents and their their carriers are able to provide coverage that's better, meets the customer's needs better, and at the same time is less expensive than some of these bigger names out there.
And we're seeing that price is playing a less important role as some of these commercials begin to focus on coverage features and policy features and customer service. And that's an area where I think independent agents have them all beat.
You're absolutely right. In fact, I'm embarrassed to say that I was not very diligent about putting my GPS on the floor when I parked my car last, and it was broken into. My driver's side window was broken, and I just today filed a claim on that. And my independent agent was a wonderful advocate for me, and I will say their carrier partner, the insurance company that I work with, was a wonderful advocate. You're not going to get that in a circumstance where you're dealing with somebody who is paid on a day-to-day basis by one insurance company. And so I think the simplicity of the message of being consistent about being able to bring choice to the process and being able to match needs with what's out there is important.
One of the other things that I talked to Dick about was how effective these advertisements are. In fact, a 2010 Market Force Information Inc. consumer survey found that more than 3 out of 4 respondents reported seeing insurance carrier advertisements during the past 2 months, with 93% of those seeing those ads on TV. A quarter of respondents said that they had considered switching to a different auto carrier or checked out another provider based on those ads. Here's what Dick had to say about that.
Well, first of all, let me say, and I want to emphasize this, independent agents in many cases have to change the way they do business. They have to be willing to be able to respond to customers 24 hours a day. They need to be very active in the social media area and on the internet. In other words, they need to be in a position that they're able to capture this movement that we're seeing with consumers in internet shopping. Now, the thing that agents have to do is figure out how they can do that, and we've got a lot of tools to help them with that. But then they need to leverage looking like a direct response carrier in the social media or out on the web, and then acting like an independent agent when they bring that customer in. And so I think if we can marry the circumstance of search engine optimization and having a robust web page and using social media to get your message with that advocacy, choice, and service that an independent agent brings, then they're going to be golden.
As Dick and I were talking about different ways that agents and brokers can compete and develop a strong online presence, it's important to note that in 2012 there will be a new program rolled out by the Independent Insurance Agents and Brokers of America, Trusted Choice, and others, called CAP. Now, CAP is the Consumer Agent Portal, and what it's designed to do is help independent agents compete online for those same customers that might be going online to purchase insurance from a direct writer. Stay tuned for more information on CAP over the next couple of weeks.
I've been working for independent agents now for well over 25 years. In fact, several, more than 25 years. But the one thing that I can say is early in my career, middle career, and even now, I keep hearing this comment about our independent agents going the way of the buggy whip or what have you. Independent agents are resilient. They know how to market. They know how to sell. And this is just one more milestone that we've got to get over with independent agents, but we will. And if agents are willing to change, which I think they are, and if agents are willing to invest the resources, then I know they're going to survive.
And for folks looking for more information on Trusted Choice, we have a New York Trusted Choice resources page available to you on our website at www.iabny.org. You can also feel free to email anybody on our staff. Dick will provide our email addresses at the bottom of the screen here for folks. And thank you so much for having this conversation with me today.
Thank you very much, Paul.